Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm thinking of just discussing about video games in general and what it is, like what video games are essentially. So, are video games more than just video games? Yes, sort of. Video games, sure, they are video games, but they're also a form of art, also a way of expressing someone like a team, like for example a person's or a team's sort of passion about something. Well, some people see it as money making machine, and that, sure, but some people just exploit that fact. So sure, you can make money by making games, of course, but the main factor is the what you put into the game rather than just a what rather than just making a game just to make a game. There's no point in making a game if there's no passion behind it, if you get what I mean. um like a lot of games, for example, do this, like have where you have, like, I think most games in fact have that. For example, Baldur's Gate 3, which I think a lot of people know of, but like, and which personally I actually love that game. I actually used to play it during the beta test of it. So like, or during the early access, technically, not the beta test, but the early access. And honestly, it was always improving. It was always getting better, more or less. Like, sure, some people, like, there were some things that people didn't really like too much about it. Some people like, you know, but in general, I think the game has progressed amazingly throughout the years. And like, if I remember correctly, it took like what, 5 4 or 5 years, I think. No, wait, no, less than that actually. When did it come out again? 2020? Yeah, I think something along those lines, or 2019, possibly 20. I don't remember. All I know, took a long time for them to actually like get it done and to like release the full game. When it released, it went so high up, not because it was just a game that was, different, but the passion behind the game, the passion that was put into the game, and like the love for the franchise itself was also what sort of brought it forward. And which franchise we're talking about? Baldur's Gate franchise. Sure, D&D, you know, Dungeons Dragons, D&D, same thing really, but mainly the Baldur's Gate franchise in general. And sure, there were people haven't that probably didn't even play Dungeons and Dragons at all. But then when they started playing it, they actually loved Baldur's Gate 3. For example, one example is also like, what other games? Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man, specifically the 2018 version, because there were some people had doubts about the game when like when the game was being developed, and trailers came in and all that. I was one of those people that had high expectations, but not that high. And it's also one of those games that like the developers behind the game had so much passion into making the the best kind of Spider-Man game you could get, essentially. And well, they actually delivered it until Spider-Man 2 came out, and that blew off the roof. But but this was also Insomniac trying something that they didn't really do to begin with. Like they didn't even this was their first time making a Spider-Man game, essentially. So this was actually one of those high moments where they wanted to bring everything into the game for the entire passion before the game into the game, and a lot of love for the game. Apparently, these weren't just people that were, at least I think, these weren't just people who were working on a Spider-Man game just to make a Spider-Man game. They made a Spider-Man game, but they were essentially making a Spider-Man game the way it was intended to be, essentially. And that, specifically that Spider-Man game in general, but also try to bring elements from the comics or, something like that. And, and I think that's what made Spider-Man so good at the time. And okay, I can say this. Spider-Man 2 is definitely better than the first game. How do I know? I've played the game. I actually pre-ordered the game and played it on day one, essentially. But yeah, Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1 was one of those games that I honestly enjoy when I played the game, like Insomniac Spider-Man. Another game that actually, from other Spider-Man games I've played Spider-Man Friends or Foe on Xbox 360, which uh not many people like. I think I'm not 100% sure, but there are people I don't think a lot of people like that game, but it's definitely not the worst game. And in general, I can agree with that. It's not the best game, but it's definitely not one of the worst games that you could get from a Spider-Man game. But then again, people say that Spider-Man 3 was the worst game. And then I'm talking about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 video game. So yeah, based on based on the Sam Raimi movies, not the cult, with Tobey Maguire, playing as Spider-Man, of course. But I also played that one, and that one actually wasn't that bad of a game. It wasn't perfect. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't that bad either. In general, like from my memory, only way to actually figure that one out is to actually play the game again. But yeah, but then there are also some games that really don't really put any passion into it whatsoever. One example I can actually say, which I actually played, but then I just stopped playing because I didn't feel it didn't feel like a game worth playing at all. Uh, wait, I have technically my brother owns it. But I have the game here. Let me see, where is it? Not that game. Uh, Here it is. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Yeah, in my opinion, the worst Black Ops game, or the worst Call of Duty game I've played in general. In my opinion, I don't know why. I just didn't like. It was a cool game, but it wasn't really for me. I didn't feel the passion behind the game. I didn't feel. Um, it was just it was just a game to be made, essentially. That was all it was. And yeah, that's the sad part about the game, which is like at least that's how I feel. I don't know how it was originally, but like the game didn't feel um expressful in a way, in my opinion. Sure, it was a cool game, but it was not the game for me in general. Um, but yeah, my point behind it is video games are a form of art, a form of creation that people need to act at least deep and like dig deep into to actually notice what the game like to notice the passion behind the game essentially. I barely need to do that because I here's the fun fact. I grew up on games, and every time I went ahead and played the game, I always felt like the press like connection behind the game essentially, or I could tell whether the game was where there was passion in the game or not. And in my opinion, so like most of the games I've played, at least there was passion behind those games. Like I think the only game I've played that really didn't do anything for me was Black Ops 4. I don't know why. Like I'm not even joking. I don't know why I can't tell like get the passion from that game. It's kind of funny. Like the game I would say where that the most passionate game I've played uh would be Baldur's Gate 3, honestly. Like in general, like a lot of passion was put into Baldur's Gate 3 in general. But then there are also other franchises that I would also count in. Sims, oddly enough, yeah, Sims would probably be one of those franchises that where people just like, how about we just put this in there? And it's not just like I'm just gonna put it in there just to put it in there. It's more like I'm gonna put it in there with just to flavor that. It's like you get the game, and then you get every single DLC, and that those DLCs are more just flavors rather than like a passion project. The passion project is Sims itself. That's what is really cool about it. Specifically Sims 4 and 3, I think. I mean, Sims 2 is technically also, I think. Another game, SSX. Specifically the ones that came out on PS3 and Xbox 360. I don't know if it came out on any other console, but that game in general was honestly the one of the most impressive SSX games and the most fun SSX games I've played. Um, in my opinion, I would say it's one of those underrated games. In fact, like at least I think that, but I can't say for sure. Sure, there were microtransactions for this game, but I don't think anyone went for it. Maybe someone went for it, but I don't think anyone went for it. I might be wrong about that, but who knows? Um, the Arkham games are also, there's a lot of passion behind those games. Um, Arkham, okay, Gotham Knights. Yes, a lot of people are gonna be somewhat like intrigued by this, Gotham Knights is actually a good game. People who say Gotham Knights is a bad game are people that don't know what the game is really about. And probably those that haven't really played the game the way it like or with the full like a full playthrough of the game. In order to experience the game, you need to play the game. That's kind of the point. And you can't say anything until you've played enough of the game. Um, However, I'm not gonna judge them like judge them judge people based on playthrough because if they don't like the game, then sure, fine. But those who haven't tried the game and just say it's bad, then you don't just basically you don't have anything to back up with that. That is literally it. Sonic Unleashed is also a good game. Not the best game, but it's definitely a game worth trying. It's the first Sonic game with a boost mechanic. It's also the one. It's also the Sonic game with this with Sonic turning into a werewolf. Yep, that is interesting. Rushing Clank Q Force, Rushing Clank All for One, both good games. I think All for One is better though. That's funny. That game was mainly intended for multiplayer reasons, but like it was still a good game in general. Tools of Destruction, Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction is a good game. Rift Apart is an amazing game. Crack in Time, Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time is also a really good game. What else can I just add? Like all these games have passion in them. Skyrim, I can't say that Skyrim does have some passion in it. That like some passion, not full passion, but some passion put into the game. That's for sure. Minecraft Story Mode. Yes, Minecraft Story like that was just a straight up passion project for the most part. And yeah, I actually just to be like you know Minecraft Story Mode. It's a great game in general. It's a really good game. A lot of people like don't like the last four episodes of it. I believe. I believe it was like episode. Yeah, it was like the last four episodes. Like the Sky Island one, the spooky themed one, which had YouTubers like the YouTuber one, the YouTuber world, which was actually really cool. I actually loved that one. Where Dan DDMs, Captain Sparkles, and other YouTubers ended up just being in the game. That's cool. The the whole what was it called? Palma, like the whole Palma thing. Like my personal favorite episode. Funnily enough, a lot of people like I don't know if how 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 people feel about that one, but that one is my favorite one because it's such a cool concept, which I feel like people should try. Like I feel like there should be a concept based on this. I don't know why, but I feel like there should be something to, that they could have expanded upon that. The last one, yeah, that is definitely the worst episode in my opinion. It's a cool episode, but it's also like the worst episode in my opinion. because it's the one where, oh, you have to go into games essentially, or you have to take parts in games, survival games, and you know it's and the whole twist with that is just like really bad in my opinion. Like the reason why is because you always knew who the villain was in that episode. It's actually funny, and so that's why I don't really like that last episode of season like Minecraft Story Mode season 1. But yeah, games, and a lot of people probably would ask me, how do I play games? Um, the way I play games is actually very interesting. I don't play games to escape reality. A lot of people might think I'm bullshitting, but it's mostly true. Sure, I technically escape reality by playing games, but tech here's what is interesting with me specifically. I don't try to escape reality. I take the reality with me when I play games. So it's actually a really interesting like twist. And for me, I don't like the enjoyment I get from games is not by just playing them, but by achieving something in the game and to experience the game essentially. And like for many people, like for gamers in general, like gamers tend to be like um you know depressed or something like that after playing games. Me, yeah, that's literally not how it is to me. That's actually funny. Sure, I don't have a girlfriend. Sure, but that doesn't really matter to me because to me it's like, sure, I could get a girlfriend. Sure, I probably would know how to like I would probably be awkward about it, but I would also be very forward about it at the same time, which is a weird thing. Um, but yeah, gaming for me, playing games is like experiencing an adventure. In some sense, it's experiencing what you're being given essentially, and that's what is really interesting with playing games. To me, it's not just to play games, but to take everything that you've learned from those games as well. Yes, to me, playing games is like a learning, like a like being in a classroom, but not being in a classroom. AKA, I learn from games, which is actually funny and interesting. I think a lot of people, like some people, do that as well. Like they try to take like hints and notes from those games, or just take some sort of like notice of that, and that's interesting in general. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, the answer to that question, whether a video game is more than just a video game, it's a yes. It is 100% more than just a video game. And you can say whatever you want about that, but it is true. That is just a that is just a fact. Sure, people use it to escape reality, but there's more to be had with video games than just to escape reality, in my opinion. But that's just how I see video games, and that's also like how things are in general. Like I think that's how, like, games are made to, mainly games are meant to be enjoyed. But some like people use it to escape reality, which is fine as long as you try to come back to reality. Everyone, every like at least every day, which is my opinion. Like, don't just um play games too much. That is, I know I play a lot of games, but still, playing too much games can be, not the greatest thing in general. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. What do you think about video games in general? Do you think video games are more than just video games? Comment below and let me know. Then yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Strike that subscribe button if you want to support this channel. Strike that like button if you like this video, and I'll see you in another video. May the storm be with you.
May the storm be with you, guiding your way through the chaos, finding strength each day. Embrace the thunder, let it fuel your fire. In the midst of darkness, we will rise higher. Oh.